Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Keith and I'm sure glad you stopped by today. Today's video was motivated by a question I received not too long ago in response to a video I did on grilling some ribs. I'll drop some cards up above if you want to go check that out. But the comment was along the lines of, you need to get a pellet grill because a pellet grill cooks better food than a charcoal grill, and a pellet grill is more convenient than a charcoal grill. Now, as I thought about that question, it made me think about how much technology is just at our disposal these days. Not only technology, but now we have AI coming online mainstream, getting more and more popular. But as technology advances, my question to you is, do we run the risk of losing touch of the true craft and art of charcoal grilling? There's nothing wrong with technology, don't get me wrong. It's because of technology I can have this conversation with you, and like a lot of you, I've got a smartphone. But my question to you is, if we're not careful, can we get so dependent upon technology as it relates to grilling that we lose the true craft and the true art form of charcoal grilling? Because in my opinion, charcoal grilling at its core, at its foundation, is a craft and is an art that's worth preserving. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about today. So if that sounds good to you, let's dive in. Before we jump in, I'm happy to announce a new line of t-shirts that we now have made available. And these t-shirts, I got one on here, I'll give you a close-up of it. These t-shirts are dedicated to preserving the craft and the art of grilling. That was the motivation behind the design. And if you're passionate about grilling and you want to show your passion, we're making these t-shirts available to you. So I've dropped some links down in the description below for you to go check these t-shirts out. Not only is it a good way to show your passion and support for the craft of grilling, but it's also a good way to support the channel as well. To me, charcoal grilling is a true art. It's in its own category. It's not like cooking something in the oven, cooking on a stovetop, using the microwave, using the air fryer. When you think about what has to take place and the understanding and knowledge that you need to be able to cook something on a charcoal grill and for it to turn out well, talk about the skills you have developed. You have to understand temperature control. You got to understand the impact that your vents, meat placement, your fuel source, how all that is going to impact the cook. Then you get into fire management, you get into dirty smoke, clean smoke. It truly is an art. And when you talk about an art, when you talk about crafts, there are levels to it, right? So when you get a feel for one level, you then go to the next level. And the more you grill, for me, the more I realize what I don't know, right? That there are more and more levels, and as you level up, you start to unlock more and more levels, and that's what keeps me coming back to the grill. Not only does the food taste good, but beyond that, it's a deep desire to want to perfect and want to improve and want to level up my game when it comes to the craft of grilling. I have very vivid memories of being about 7, 8 years old, hanging out at my grandmother's house in Alabama and spending time with my uncle as he went through the process of grilling, all the way from prepping his meat, seeing how he seasoned his meat, seeing him how he prepped his charcoal, how he got it ready, how he distributed the charcoal, how he placed it on the grill, how often he would go in and manage his grill. I have vivid memories of that. And although I watched my uncle grill and I grilled with him, when I got to a point where I was grilling by myself, I realized, okay, there's a learning curve here, right? I've grilled with somebody and I've watched somebody else grill, but now that I'm doing it by myself, there's a learning curve here. And I realized that although I had a good foundation, there was more for me to learn. And it was at that point where I fell in love with the process of grilling. I fell in love with the challenge of coming to this grill. I fell in love with the challenge of being able to dial in temperature and being able to get with this grill on that given day, being able to account for temperature, barometric pressure, wind speed, you know what I mean, all these other things to get your fire dialed in right. I fell in love with the process. If you go back, look at some of my videos, you'll see me grilling in the dead of winter. We had some subarctic temperatures last year, like -0. And I fired up the grill because I wanted to learn and experience what cooking on this grill was like in that cold temperature so that I can register that in my mind and help that level up my game. So for me, it's all about the process. When the comment came in and said that pellet grills were easier, if easier means that you remove me from the process and now cooking on a grill, all it becomes is me putting my meat inside some box that's been designed by some engineer, I'm not cooking the meat, right? The engineer who designed this grill, the engineer who wrote the code, the engineer who put the microprocessors in there, the engineer that's got all these sensors in here to measure what it's doing, they're cooking the meat. And I'll remove from the process. But to me, the process is important. The process is me as a kid in Alabama spending summers with my uncle. That's where I fell in love with the grill. It was about the process. You know what I mean? So, although I understand and recognize not everybody is going to be want to put the time in, right, to understand how to grill, to perfect the craft. Some people want to put the meat into a black box, right? Just put the meat in, close it up, hit some buttons, put the time on there, come back, they get home from work, they got a brisket, they got ribs or whatever, you know what I mean? I understand that. But I think there are a few of us out here, maybe more than a few of us, who love the process, who embrace the process of grilling. And again, I get it. I don't have anything against pellet grills. I don't have anything against technology. I get it. Pellet grills are convenient. Totally understand. But again, if the only part of grilling we see is us putting our meat, our food, inside of a device, dialing in the temperature, filling it with pellets, hitting play, and out pops the end product, we run the risk of not appreciating and not knowing and not understanding what the craft of grilling is and what the process it took to do that. We're removing ourselves from the process for the sake of convenience. But think about that process. Think about the history of the process. Think about traditions. Man, I put that rib video out and I got stories and comments from people in different parts of the country, different parts of the world. Somebody up in Michigan was like, bro, the way you cook those ribs is the way we cook them in Detroit back in the day, man. We used to get these big drums, and that used to be the way we cook them. I mentioned Alabama, man. Somebody hit me up, and they were from Birmingham, and they said, bro, that's the way we cook ribs in Birmingham. And my wife's family, that's where my wife's family is from. They from Birmingham, and I talked to her. She was like, Keith, straight up, as a kid growing up, I don't remember even seeing like a store-bought grill. Like you talk about Char Grill or Weber, she's like, I don't remember seeing that. What I remember seeing is people converting drums and people cooking in the back with like bricks and cinder blocks and charcoal, making it work. So it's more than convenience is what I'm trying to say, man. This is a tradition. And if preserving tradition means it may take me a little longer to get my coals ready, it may take a little bit more understanding and skill to work this grill, then I'm willing to do that. Because when I fire it up, man, I go right back to Alabama, being 7, 8 years old, hanging out with my uncle. And like I told you before, that's when that seed was sown, and I fell in love with grilling. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against technology. I'm not against technology as it relates to grilling. But when it comes down to the unfiltered experience of grilling, I think charcoal grilling, stick burning, cooking on a live fire, cooking with wood, that's the true craft and the true art form of grilling. And to me, it's more than just an outcome of having good eats, having food that tastes amazing, that smoky, intense flavor we all love. It's also what is equally important, if not more important, is the process. Having both an understanding and appreciation for the process and what it took to create that end product that came off the grill. What I love about grilling, beyond the good eats, is the tradition. And the fact that in a world that oftentimes it feels like it's trying to divide us as people, put us against one another, grilling is one of those things that cuts across different cultures, cuts across different parts of the world, and different people in different walks of life can identify it, and it's something that we can put aside differences and come together and be able to share a passion for. And again, beyond the eats, a lot of it is the process. A lot of it is understanding in different cultures in different parts of the world, they have a different process they use and how they grill and how they prepare. And respecting their processes and learning more about those processes and having more of an appreciation for the process and not just the product that comes off the grill. So that's the point I'm trying to make. When the person who commented said it's more convenient, it's clear that they're coming from a place to where they're not particularly interested necessarily in the process. They're more interested in the product that's coming off the grill. And when they made the comment towards me, they assumed that I shared that same perspective, and I don't. Because I am very much interested in the process. Understanding the process, leveling up my game when it comes to the process. Understanding your processes and hearing how you do it so that we can sharpen each other's skills. Iron sharpens iron, and we can level up our grilling game together and not just simply be replaced by an engineer who designed some type of grill with some type of microcontroller, with some type of software that's doing the work for us. Again, nothing against that. Nothing against the conveniences of today. But I think it's important that we understand that there are some unintended consequences, though, if we get so dependent upon technology where we lose sight of the process. Because here in recent years, man, we have had some crazy power outages. Hurricanes come through, we've lost power for weeks, and technology is great and fine until the power goes out. And you don't have a generator and the power has been out for weeks and days. And people aren't taking your credit card or your iPhone or whatever you got your currency you paying with, right? You got to go low tech. They want to do some bartering and trading. Where your cash at? So a lot of this technology, man, is cool, and you get hooked on it and you get addicted to it. But when the power goes out, what you gonna do then? So again, just understanding and respecting for me, and showing the need to develop your skills as it relates to grilling. and not just simply relying upon technology. There's no harm in having a smoker, having a pellet grill. I'm not saying that. But think about also understanding the process. So that in the event your power goes out, in the event that you don't have access to this device, you still have the skills and the knowledge to be able to go out, fire it up, put some wood on the grill, or put some wood in a pit, man, and be able to cook and do what you need to do to provide for you, your family, your friends, and your community. So the next time someone tells you to trade in your charcoal grill for a pellet grill or something that takes advantage of the technological advances of today, remind them that charcoal grilling is more than just convenience. It's about skill, it's about a craft, it's about flavor, and it's about tradition. And if you share that same passion for tradition, for the art of grilling, remember to check out those t-shirts, and I'll drop some links down below for you to go check those out. Awesome way to express your passion and to support the channel as well. And I'd like to get your thoughts on this topic, so definitely drop me some comments down below and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, hit that subscribe button and click that bell so anytime we drop a new video, you'll be the first to know. Hit that like button and leave me some comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you're interested in any of the products we used in today's video, we'll leave some links down below. Hope you have an awesome day, and thanks for watching.